From the KELOLAND Digital Desk, I'm meteorologist Scott Mundt, and this is our latest edition of Weather or Not. We've made it to October. It's October 1st. Let's go ahead and check the outline as this heat will continue. And along with that, Brian kind of pointed this out to me. 2023, the end of September, beginning of October, we had a stretch of very warm air. I looked back at the stats, did some math, and I'll show you a comparison of those 2 years, what we're currently going through right now compared to what happened in 2023. And then as we go through this weekend, it's expected to become cooler, especially across western South Dakota. We'll have our cooler temperatures eventually make their way across western KELOLAND as a strong front moves through. Along with it, we'll have very windy conditions. And we'll also talk about that snow trend coming up toward the end of the show. And Brian Karstens will be here too. So we'll probably, we may throw in a couple other topics, probably run through a lot of different computer models as to what they are thinking as we go over the next several days. So Futurecast for today, we started with a couple of rain showers across eastern, south central South Dakota this morning. They moved to the northeast. You see Futurecast trying to bring in maybe this isolated shower, thunder shower or two. I have a transition that continues to come and go, so I'll have to work on that after the break. This is into tonight, as we'll have partly cloudy skies in our forecast as we do get into the overnight hours. And then for tomorrow, looks like we'll have a warm day. Plenty of sunshine will return. Temperatures will remain well above average, a chance for 90-degree heat to return across southeastern KELOLAND. For today, temperatures will reach the 80s to near 90 degrees. We may see a couple of isolated 90s in central South Dakota. Tonight, temperatures fall to the 50s to near 60 degrees. South winds will continue tonight in eastern KELOLAND, more of a westerly wind in western and central South Dakota. Stay with us on this latest edition of Weather or Not. I'll soon be joined by Brian Karstens. Welcome back to Whether or Not. Let me go ahead and hit this button right away. The two of us back together again.
I think there's
been a while.
Yeah, working together, not separate shows or time off.
I know, that was the big one.
Which is good.
We need time
You took
off.
some time off. I had a day off yesterday, but, just things to get done. And then
as summer's holding on, right?
Well, it is. It is sure the talker, too. I think everybody is... I hear lots of opinions about it. Some people enjoy it. It's extended summer. It just feels comfortable in the morning. You have to deal with some of the bugs that are.
Oh yeah, especially when we have light wind, and we've had a lot of days with light wind. Yesterday we had stronger south wind, but you're right. Those bugs, those no-see-ums or whatever they're called, the pirate gnats.
The pirate gnat. That one I have never heard before. I guess maybe I just. Yeah, I have not been paying attention, but whatever you want to call them, yeah, they're kind of nasty.
They're annoying.
Yeah, they are.
Goodness.
And they're around. Of course, the bugs they feed off of the warmth of the atmosphere, don't they?
Have you noticed bees, too? Bees and wasps have been active.
Oh, trust me, I get reports from my daughters. Dad, we have a wasp. It flew in the house. Okay, well, let me take care of that. We'll figure out a way to get them out the door. And yeah, the bugs are active. A lot of moths around our lights in the evening.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I noticed one in my car. Was it yesterday morning? Was it this morning? There's one in my car.
Yeah. Well, bugs and anything, all those little creatures that are flying around, we're going to start to see some changes.
We are.
Their days are numbered, Scott.
I think so. Give it what? 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah, I think the more and we'll get into this. on the show today about the pattern, the big picture that's coming up. But, yeah, things are going to start to return to what we would typically see for October. And typical means frost and freeze weather.
Where's that been? We haven't been really touching that.
No, not even a beginning of a hint of it. But we will address that. In fact, if anything, Scott, I think the beginning of this forecast, as hot as it is, it will lend itself toward what eventually, when the pendulum swings the other direction.
I was just about to scroll down and show this graphic. I was just about to do that.
I love it.
This is something that you've always said before. This is great. Okay, fine. Above average temperatures. If you like it, fantastic. But again, things tend to swing the other way, don't they? And it's just a matter of timing when that happens.
Yep. That's the weather of the plains. And one of those things, too, Scott, that, when we're so far above average, eventually when we do displace, we can go several degrees below normal. So let's see where that lands. That's coming up in the show. The graphics obviously at hand here, the heat. And you've got an interesting topic here, 2023 versus 2025.
Well, you brought this up to me during the broadcast of KELOLAND this morning, okay? At the end of September 23, beginning of October, we were well above average. And what I did here is a side-by-side comparison with our forecast numbers, okay? We're forecasting 87 today, lower 90s for the second and the third. And that high of 92 on the third, that's Friday. And the record high temperature, the existing record high is 89. So we are forecasting numbers already to be in record territory. And in 23, we've had those records, I believe that 93 on the 30th, 95 there on the first, and I'm not quite sure about the second. I think the 93 on the second was a record too.
Yes, there's three of them in there that are records.
All those 90s probably.
Yep, and then it was interesting because the week, it actually started on Monday. The record high was 1897, and then there are 3 years of 2023, and then it goes back to 1897. Isn't that interesting?
I love all
those
weather
patterns.
Stats work.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. So now, Monday, we picked off the one on Monday. We replaced that because we hit 92. Now we're going to pick off the other 1897, according to our forecast.
Yeah, that's the other 92.
Correct.
That we have.
So we could
forecast.
have bookends 92s of 2025 in this week of records. So that'll be, probably cemented in the books for at least a little while. Hopefully not as hot next late September, early October in 2026.
Right. We need a break. We need to get rid of these bugs. I don't want these bugs to last that long.
Well, it's the time of year. You want it to be in the 60s and 70s. I mean, I think most of us would love to have, well, I know there are folks that love 80s and 90s, but a high of 68 to 72. Room temperature, that's where I would love to see. That's why I love late September, early October, and I'd love it to continue.
Yeah, right. Not just have it for a week.
Yeah.
And then be done.
A week of this and then going to something cold. I don't know if I'm a fan of that either, but yeah, you've got some numbers. The averages are pretty close, but 2023 is actually warmer.
Yes, by a degree and a half when I averaged all 6 of these days out and did that comparison. And then as I hit the button here, October 7th of 2023, we had a high of 63 and a low of 31. Depending on if we had wind or not, we probably had some frost.
Well, right. And I'm sure that I know there's another date in 2023. I think it was the 10th of October where the low was close to that again, 30 or 31-ish, so right around freezing. And by the way, 1897, that year I just tossed out there, the low temperature in Sioux Falls was, I believe, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here.
Let's see if I could look it up for you, too.
I think it was 22 on, I want to say October, around the 9th of October. So I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's all right.
I might have the date wrong, but
up.
I thought that was really interesting, too, to see if it could go from 90s to 20s for lows within a few days. But this was what the weather was doing in 1897, Scott. So there's a history of big pattern swings in the Northern Plains. I think that's kind of what we expect.
There's an 1898 when we fell to 21 on the 6th. Okay. That's a record.
Yep.
And
Yeah, somewhere in that range, I'm pretty sure.
1897 is when we had that high of 89 on the 3rd. That's a record, and that will be beaten on Friday.
Yep.
Okay. And then do we have anything else coming in at the beginning or halfway through the month or the rest of the month? 1897, don't see anything there. But I'm just looking at the records. You can easily, look this up and see, okay, were they in the top 5, top 3, or what have you. But it's always interesting to look at these weather stats and see what stands out and see what repeats, too. And that's another topic we'll talk about.
You know what we need? Here's what you need, Scott. I was thinking about this the other day. We need, and I know with the topics of AI and everything, but someday we just got to start getting our little AI bot that goes through these records. And then when we think of something like this, and this is already out there, it's just a matter of localizing it to our record databases. But you find so many interesting little facts about weather in Sioux Falls and our KELOLAND region. So I imagine probably in the next year or 2 or 3, it will be doing that a lot more in the future. And that's a good thing of AI, I think as you look as, helping us to figure out, okay, I need a quick summary of all these numbers. You just have to train it to pull the right numbers, because sometimes I'll see things that'll come up and I'm like, this isn't right. The numbers are wrong. And then I'm like, no, the actual record book says this. And so you have to be careful with that.
And it depends on where they look for those records, too.
Right. It's got to come from the official NOAA databases. So the National Weather Service, if you go onto their webpage, you'll find the whole, and you've got a couple other links, too, that are really good. Really good.
I mean, and that takes me back to my internship days when I was in college at WGN with Tom Skilling.
Yeah, going through all that.
He had a lot of stats, and he would have me look up some stats too. So,
and those that don't know,
way back then,
Tom Skilling is one of those names in weather. If you've watched weather, back from, Tom Skilling just retired here, a couple of years ago?
Yes, he did.
So. Yeah, but you worked with him in Chicago.
Yeah, great guy. But we're getting on too many tangents here.
Well, that's all right. We're talking away today.
Yeah, becoming cool. We haven't seen each other for a while. Becoming cooler, okay? Let's go ahead and check out this weekend forecast. Now, on Saturday, look at that front. South-central South Dakota into northeastern South Dakota. Ahead of it, strong southerly winds. Wind gusts 30, 40 miles per hour or more. Behind it, as we get into maybe late Saturday and Sunday, that's when that cooler, colder air will start to come in, and we'll have strong northwest winds behind it. And look at that rain. Western South Dakota, looking at rain as we go through the day on Saturday, and a lot of that will eventually move into central, say north central and northeastern South Dakota. Better chances for that rain Saturday night, Sunday, as compared to southeastern KELOLAND. And we quickly went through this, but there is that chance for a couple of flakes of snow in the higher elevations of the hills, where sure, they could see some accumulating snow. But the big difference here, the temperatures, Saturday into Sunday, especially across eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. This is a look at the precipitation forecast as we go through the day on Saturday. Just went ahead and labeled it the best chance for rain across western South Dakota, slight chance for rain in the east and southeast. I think we have our numbers at about 20, maybe 40%. In eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. Stay with us. We still have plenty to talk about on this latest edition of Weather or Not. Welcome back to Weather or Not. Quickly with our weather pattern, I know we showed this earlier, but we have a lot to get to. And just a matter of things swinging the other direction, isn't it?
Yep. I think we've been sitting up on that about right there.
I should almost just freeze the graphic right there.
And I'm fine with that to a certain extent, but I think most of us are ready for a change to something different. I know I always look forward to, and you do too.
Oh, yeah.
The seasonal changes in KELOLAND. It gives us a totally different slate to work from as far as material to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of switch up, what we're doing. So, yeah, I fine with 7-day forecasts. It's, in the 80s or whatever. But Let's see, too, if we can add some rain in the forecast.
Oh,
Man,
my goodness.
I am so dry at our house. And as I drive around the region, there's differences, big differences. So when we talk about this, I know some of you are saying, Brian, well, we've already had quite a bit of rain in September. It's been a good thing to dry out a little bit. But for locally, Sioux Falls, there's a lot of folks that are dry. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Now, part of this pattern change, and this is something that I've talked about numerous times, is we like to look at different patterns or cycles that we can pick up on. And one that I continue to look at is what happened during the summer in Aberdeen when we had temperatures fall to the 30s, 40s, near records, if not setting records, with overnight lows falling to the 30s and 40s. You see that June 4th, it started 39. July 17th, we fell to 45. Okay, that's 43 days between those two dates. And then down to 42 on the 25th of August. So that's 39 days. I went ahead and just rounded it. Okay, 40 to 45-day cycle. Where does this put us to seeing maybe another pattern change of getting back to this colder air? And it's been labeled as the 4th through the 9th of October.
Yep.
Pretty good timing, I think, with what's expected in the forecast.
Now, just for the audience, just to clarify, I know you showed this graphic on this program early September, right after that August 25th cool down. So I know it was around Labor Day or close to that time frame.
And that's when we had one of those, and Labor Day was the 1st of September.
Yes.
And then I think 3 days later on the 4th, we had a strong cold front come through.
Correct.
Very strong winds behind it.
Yep. There was a shot of cool, and then everybody was thinking about fall, and everybody was talking about their pumpkin this, pumpkin that. Remember that?
Yeah, then it got too hot for
and then everybody,
pumpkin stuff.
Okay.
It's pumpkin spice. It got too hot for it.
But the pumpkin, well, people love their pumpkin things anyway, I know. But here we are, your 40 to 45-day cycle. Now, there is science behind this. This is the hard part of this is figuring out how these things change when there is a change that, once you're in the rhythm of a cycle, you can look at that and say, yeah, look at this 40 to 45-day spacing. But, of course, we go into winter, and we kind of tend to see points where this pattern resets a little bit. And that's a whole different conversation about how we diagnose that, too.
And I'll just throw this out there. I always think it tends to reset around the solstice going into the new year.
Yep.
Like that week and a half, something to reset, something happens.
Yeah, and I'm sure as the planet goes through that process, because, you think about upper air patterns and, the northern hemisphere and how the weather works, it makes sense that a lot of these things...
And how the planet tilts and everything.
Yep, and the distribution of energy, but... Yeah, probably more than what we're going to talk about today, but yes. 40 to 45 days. So let's assume that you're right, and the modeling tends to say so.
Do you have something up on your side?
I do, and I want to bring up the wind forecast because this is going to go hand in hand. So, okay, today's the 1st of October, so let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the 4th. October 5th would be Sunday. So let's watch what happens here. See this? South winds in the forecast for today, tomorrow, not even really much wind tomorrow. No. Actually, a lighter day. This front that's moving through is going to wash out. But what I want to zoom into is Saturday. Ooh. Look at that. The wind is out of the south at 20 to 40 plus in Nebraska. Southeast South Dakota, that's running pretty strong. And boy, oh boy, the fire danger
right.
It goes up.
About that too. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I probed the relative humidity forecast for Sioux Falls Saturday afternoon. It's about 25%. So that's low enough. That would definitely be with 90-degree weather.
90-degree weather, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, relative humidity at 25%. Be careful.
I'll just say it right now. I think red flag warnings are quite possible. Mm-hmm. So farmers know fire danger's up in some of these locations that are dry. So just a little heads up. Now, this is the next thing. Look at this low that comes out. And have we mentioned yet how much rain is going to be happening in the Black Hills?
We have not. We just said that's the best chance for rain in the hills. I'll just go ahead and mention the latest run on one of the European models, anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain in the hills.
Yes, and that's a big deal if we get that much rain behind this system. Look at that wind on Sunday morning. It's piped in out of the west-northwest in Sioux Falls. And now the timing on this is the next question. Does it arrive in Sioux Falls Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning. And then, of course, Mobridge, look at that number. 60-mile-an-hour winds. I think we probably better pay attention to that. And this kicks us out into Sunday afternoon or Sunday night. Monday, we have lighter winds, but it is cooling off.
Yes.
How cool do we need to go, Scott, Monday morning?
That's a good question because we always talk about how these models have a hard time picking up on the cold air. And especially if our winds become light, we'll have the stronger front move through. We looked at the archives as to what happened during the summer when we had the cold air come in, and I think we fell to 44 twice in August in Sioux Falls.
Yes.
So when did you think, when we're talking October, we're not talking August, we're talking October, models are thinking, what, lower 40s? I wouldn't be surprised if that gets a little lower.
Yeah. It's most likely going to go lower based on the qualities or the characteristics of the air mass coming in. My main question would be wind. Okay, if we still have some wind, we'll mix out. We'll keep that temperature up a little bit. Cloud cover or any precipitation, that's also going to be a player there too. But if we continue to see just a big swath of rain northwest of Sioux Falls, where, by the way, it's been raining a lot anyway. If it hits as projected, it hits the hills, goes up toward Faith, maybe Pierre, maybe Mobridge, but then Sioux Falls, very little. Hopefully that changes. I'm looking for a change. I'm hoping something will kind of break loose out of this. But at least we'll cool it off as we get into next week.
We will. And this is what I want to bring up. This is the Canadian model. And notice that number, 33. That's for Tuesday morning.
And this is Sioux Falls. This is not
Sioux Falls. Mm-hmm.
33.
Now, it has 47 for a low on Monday.
Yep.
Now, that may have to do something with, probably the winds can still be strong Sunday night into Monday morning, keep that number up.
Yeah.
It's saying 65 for a high, but that 33, Tuesday, Wednesday down to 30. We'll see what happens. Now, that's to look at the Canadian model. What are some of the other models suggesting? This is the European model. We go out that far, near 50. Now, I'm a fan of saying high temperatures with the European when you put a forecast together. Those are great. The low temperatures, I'm not a fan of on the European.
Yeah, and one thing there too, obviously, if it's catching the temperature,
and this is the GFS model.
Oh yeah, well, and it does have similar numbers on overnight
it has a
lows.
35. It's just a matter of timing.
Mm-hmm.
These numbers up here, 90s, Friday, Saturday. Look at this.
That
following weekend, that second weekend of October.
And isn't that something that you have a 26-degree low on the 12th of October, which, by the way, matches the AI version of the European model. I know I showed that on the morning show just about 6:20 in the morning.
Yeah, we don't have a graphic like this for the AI.
Yeah, the AI is a work in progress, as they say.
Yes, it is. Here we go. We could use this one. Look at that number. You see that number?
Yep, that little tiny box there. Yep, that's exactly it.
That's a 22.
22 degrees. Can you imagine that? Well, that's
on the 12th. Yep.
Wasn't that the number I just said from 1897?
I should go back and look at that graphic.
Yeah, I looked it up, by the way, in the break. Yeah, it was the 9th of October, 22 in 1897.
Okay.
So another year of extremes. But let's just keep watching this. I think it'll be an interesting rest of the week and see how cold. Boy, if you suffer from allergies, I know my ragweed allergies are probably a little high these days too. So, and plus the 12th of October, if we get a hard freeze, it's pretty close to normal, really. I mean, some years we end up getting, and I'm not going to say today that that's the exact day that it happens, but just the fact that we could run a freeze through here, it's
due.
Yeah, it's pretty much normal.
All right. Then we get into the mid-October, growing season's done. They no longer issue their frost advisories, freeze warnings by the middle of October.
Correct.
So,
now at our house, what'll happen is we'll get that kind of cold air, and then we always have to protect the potted plants because the flowers look so nice yet. And
right.
I'm okay with that. So I let the garden kind of go, whatever. But the stuff up near the house will probably try, because October will warm up again. It's not like we're just going to stay cold indefinitely, but we're going to start seeing those downs.
How is your garden?
Well, a lot of it now with school and all of our other activities, we kind of just let it kind of
do its thing.
Do its thing. Yeah, we go out there, we get a few tomatoes, we pick some of the other, well, the pumpkins, actually. We've been getting pumpkins out of there.
Good.
Pumpkin patch. We've got a lot of gourds to get out this week. They've been hanging on the fences, and they're the nice, pretty fall decorations. So we'll be doing that. A little bit of popcorn, not much, just a little bit. So we got a few things to do. Oh, and I have potatoes. I have extra potatoes, a couple rows that we haven't gotten to yet. That we.
Well, you got a lot to go through yet.
Yeah, so time, that's my struggle. Now that we're all so busy in the fall, we don't have as much time to kind of be around the garden. But we're going to do, Ellie told me yesterday, she planted a special potato area this spring, and she actually put several different types of potatoes into one hole. So we have to dig that up to see what colors we have in there. A purple potato, it's like a Viking potato or something like that. And then there's a red one in there, and then a conventional, like a white potato.
That's great. That's great. I've made 4 batches of salsa, I think.
So when's the last time? Are you still making it?
I'm still making. I have enough to make 1 more, and then I'll probably need to sauce some tomatoes that I still have out in the garden. So I might be able to get 6 batches out of it, and I make about a dozen in a batch.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I have a lot of jalapenos that I've jarred. And a new thing this year for me is I'm going to try to make hot sauce.
Ooh.
Found a recipe for that.
Okay.
I'll have to wear gloves because I've made that mistake before, rubbing
Yeah,
your eyes, and that's not pleasant.
You have to be careful.
Oh, my goodness.
And what is that called? The name for the Scoville units?
Yeah, Scoville units.
Is that right?
Scoville units, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, and I know that some of those get awfully high with some of those peppers.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Don't
be
touch
careful.
Your eyes. Don't touch
you got
your
a plan.
eyes. I have gloves. That's our time.
That's
pretty
it.
quick.
All right.
It went really quick. That's the time we have for this latest edition of Weather or Not. Thank you for joining us. Of course, have a great day.